Blessings and welcome to the path to freedom. Once again, this beautiful space where we get to grow, where we get to unfold, where we get to expand, where we get to shine, where we get to soar, where we get to glow beyond anything that we've ever experienced, beyond anything that we've ever imagined, where we get to continuously release and let go of that which no longer serves, so that we may be in ever expanding peace and love and joy and harmony and wholeness and beauty and abundance, so that we may forever allow for greater and greater expressions of who we are to emerge. This is what we're doing. This is why we're here, to set ourselves free. My name is Daniel Roquillo, and as always, I'm very grateful and honored that you're choosing to join me, that you're choosing to tune into this beautiful space, that you're choosing to have a moment, to share this space, so that we may expand our consciousness, so that we may raise our vibration. And whenever we do, as the sacred laws decree, the whole universe rises up to meet us at this new level of consciousness, this new level of vibration. So as we are moving through life, moving through conditions and circumstances, or actually having conditions and circumstances come into our experience, while it is quite normal and it seems very logical to want to change the external conditions and circumstances, the way to change them really is by us elevating ourselves onto a new level of consciousness to raise our vibration. And this kind of speaks into the topic for today. And as often is the case, not always, but often, these talks and these messages, they are mostly for me. These are reminders for me as to what I need to turn my attention to, what I need to release and let go in the moment. So absolutely, it is my intention and my desire that these messages and the words that flow through me, that they serve you who are tuning in, but just as much as they're serving you and perhaps assisting you, they are very much in service to me as well. And so I'm finding myself in a beautiful space of expansion, but this expansion is right on the edge of what my mind believes to be possible. So that which I've caught to be emerging is something that I need to do a whole lot of work around, because my mind believes that it's not possible. Parts of the mind believes that it is not possible. And so I've become aware, I am witnessing and observing how the mind frantically tries to figure out how to make it happen. And that's getting it all backwards. Because we never need to make anything happen. I mean, just look at nature. A seed planted in the ground, it is not that seed that is making the unfoldment happening, be it a rose seed or tomato seed or an apple seed or an avocado seed or an acorn or whatever the case may be. It is not that seed that is making the unfoldment. It is not that seed that is making the expansion, the growth happening. But there's a state of emergence which needs a space of allowance, which needs a space of surrendering, so that the expansion may be welcomed, so that the expansion may happen. Likewise, a mother is not making the baby happen. We, as we are born into this dimension and as we matriculate through this incarnation, we are not making ourselves happen, but we are participating in the unfoldment of that which is happening. And so what we're speaking about is the different levels of vibrational alignment, as the sacred laws decree that where there is vibrational alignment, manifestation must occur. Whatever we turn our attention to the most, whatever we think about the most, whatever we talk about the most, whatever we feel the most, that is what we're allowing to manifest into our experience. That is what we're allowing to emerge into our experience. And there are different levels of this vibrational alignment, where the lowest level is when we absolutely know that it is impossible. We know it to such a degree that we don't even bother trying to move in the direction. We've given up even before we try. even before we say yes to anything. We just right off the bat say no to it because it's too far out there. It's too far of a stretch. And then moving up to where we perhaps believe that it is not possible. And then we move to the third level, which is where we hope and wish that it is possible. And the fourth level, where we believe that it is possible. And the last level, the highest level, where we absolutely know not only that it is possible, but that it is actually done. It's already happened. Another way of saying this, and especially articulating and describing the highest level of vibrational alignment, which is actually the topic for today. So the topic is, if I remember it correctly, the topic is all is well, now, always, and forever. And when we know that all is well, then we are in that highest level of vibration. When we don't even need to think about it, when we do not even need to turn our attention to that which is emerging, when we so know that it is done, it's already happened in the infinite mind, and it is happening, it is demonstrating, it is manifesting itself here now in this dimension. So we don't need to concern ourselves with it. That is the highest level of vibrational alignment. And this is where I kind of get not stuck. This is where I'm battling right now, because I'm balancing that razor's edge between sometimes knowing and feeling that all is well, that it is done, and that it's gonna unfold and demonstrate and manifest itself beautifully, perfectly, magnificently. And on the other side is where I find myself trying to make it happen, which is when I lean into doing. Oh, I need to do more. I need to do this and I need to do that. Not out of inspiration, but out of a sense of necessity, out of a sense of urgency, which all belong to the lower levels of vibrational alignment, because there is that sense that this is not possible. So the work here, the invitation here, is to come back, to do whatever is necessary, to do the inner work of coming back to knowing and feeling that all is well. And so we're talking about the first pillar of freedom, trust and surrender. That we get to trust to such a degree that this loving presence, that it is all that there is, that it is good, that it is benevolent, always for itself. And thirdly, that we get to trust that it is always expressing itself perfectly. Divine and perfect action, activity is always happening. Divine and perfect timing is always happening. So this is the work. Primarily, consciousness always precedes form. So we need to do the work. And in this case, I need to do the work of finding my way, not back to necessarily, but finding a way to more be in the knowing that all is well than in the fearing that it is not going to happen, that it is not going to, I'm not going to make it on time, because there is a deadline involved in this particular expansion. So that there is a date where things need to be figured out, when things need to be put into place. So finding our way back to trusting and knowing and feeling, first and foremost, that all is well. In consciousness does always precede form. Whatever we know to be true, whatever we believe to be true, that is what is going to emerge. That is what we're allowing to come into our experience. So actually the second pillar of freedom is obviously involved here too. The second pillar of freedom is practicing the presence, which is where we get to observe and witness. So I get to observe, I get to witness the thought forms of fear and worry and doubt, the sense of responsibility, the sense that I need to make it happen. And this used to be my go-to affirmation, my go-to belief, my primary belief, my core belief, that if I don't make it happen, it's not going to get done. Or actually, if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. That's how I phrased it. And these are coming back up again. These are coming back up into my awareness. It's been a long, long time since I experienced this level of unease. Some days are obviously me finding myself in a higher vibration, in a more expanded level of consciousness, and some days are more challenging. But it's been a long time since I needed to do this work of actually moving myself into the knowing and feeling that all is well, because it is work. It is work. We need to be on our toes presence wise. We need to build our presence muscle so strong that we become aware of these thought forms before they snag us, before they hijack us, or at least before we have been hijacked to such a degree that finding our way out of them, breaking free from them, becomes a big struggle. So we need to be on our toes. And it all comes back to being very present, to having our presence muscles so strong, like the trees that have their roots run so deep into the ground that even if there's a raging storm, they're still able to remain standing. They're swaying back and forth, obviously, and their branches whipping and all of that. Their leaves come flying, perhaps, but still they remain standing. So even in the whirlpool, even in the whirlwind, even in the turbulence, we need to be anchored and grounded and centered so much in the nowness of this moment. We need to lean into our whatever affirmations, whatever techniques, whatever tools we have to stand firm on that pillar of trust, of absolutely knowing that even if I cannot see how this is going to unfold itself, even if I don't see the way out, the way is still here. That as that beautiful saying goes, let me see if I can remember it. I always get it backwards. It goes, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Just because we cannot see the sun on a very cloudy day or at night does not mean that it is not there. Just because we cannot see the stars on a clear blue sky does not mean that they're not there. They are still there. The good that we desire is still here. Everything, every single possibility exists in the infinite mind of this loving presence that is all there is. So the version of who and what we are that is already emerged, that has already made it through, that version already exists. The possibility, the potential where we are living the expanded life, where we are living the next iteration of who and what we are, that version is already here. It's not going to happen. It is an isness. It is a doneness. So we need to do the work of coming back to the knowing and feeling that it is done. And I'm speaking very much to myself because this is what is mine to do right now. This is what is mine to do right now. I'm all over the place. It feels like, and yet I'm very much here, being very present with what is mine to do and what is present in my awareness, what is present in my consciousness, what is present in my mind. So there's a lot going on, and that is all right. That is all right. But the invitation is for us to do the work necessary to build our presence muscle so strong that we may witness and observe the judgments, the opinions, the fears, the worries, the doubts, those lower vibration thought forms, building our attention muscles so strong that we stop looking at the surface appearances, that we stop looking at current conditions and circumstances, stop judging by them, that we get to see that which we cannot see with our physical eyes, that which our physical senses cannot pick up. I once heard a beautiful statement where faith is concerned. I'm not sure that I'm able to remember it, so I may be paraphrasing, but it went something like, faith is... Nope. Nope. Something about faith. Not faith. Faith. Something about faith and about seeing the invisible to such an extent that it becomes more real than the visible. Something along those lines. Which means that we move ourselves into the knowing that all is well, which means that we move ourselves into the knowing that it is done and that it is happening now. So that was it for today. The invitation is for us to be very present, very vigilant with our minds, to be very aware of what is going on, so that the thought forms do not hijack us, so that they do not pull us into too low of a vibration. Questions? I don't know at this point. What is here now? What is here now? That's a beautiful question to bring us back to this now moment. What is here now? The air is here now. Joy is here now. The trees are here now. The flowers are here now. The curtains are here now. This computer is here now. These hands are here now. These feet are here now. This nose is here now. Which brings us back from time, which is the villain in this drama. Time. Past, present, future, and in my case, future, as my mind predominantly tries to venture into the future and figure out how to navigate to get to that space. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, if this resonates with you, I invite you to share this with others who may benefit from hearing this. Until we meet again, I absolutely know, and feel that all is well, that something wonderful is happening, that everything is working for our highest good. Much love, many blessings. Namaste.